Hey everybody, it's Matthew. Welcome back to the channel. As I said last week, we are back today to cover the solos from Tighter and Tighter by Soundgarden. Of course, we did all of the rhythm guitars last week. You can still go back to that video and get the tabs for that. This week we're going to be covering the solos, which we'll have a complete tab for as well. So without further ado on this, let's get into the full speed demo for the first solo in this song. Alright, so you guys heard that full speed demo there. Kind of a tricky solo. There are some quick parts in here that are pretty tough to hear and can be pretty confusing at first, but we're going to break them all down for you guys right now. Of course, first thing to note, this is a wah-on solo all the time. Not a ton of big wah moves or anything in this song. It's mostly for the tone, but there are a few little things where you're moving the wah up and down occasionally, just for the extra little flavor. Of course, you can use it to your discretion if you would like. Wah is not always, a really particular thing. I do have it marked on the tab where you ideally would be doing it, but it's not a big deal if you're not being exact with it. Okay, so wah is on here. This is going to be pretty loud. We're going to start with the 7th fret here on the B string, and then a hammer onto the 10th. We're going to let that go for a second, pick it again after about an 8th note, and then we're going to do about 4 or 5 30-second notes here. So it's going to be like this. So just like that. And then you're going to bend it up after that 4th one. And then we're going to walk it down from 10, 7, 9. And then we're going to go back to 7 on the B string, hammer this 9, pull it off or pick it, whichever you want to do. Then we're going to go back to the 9th fret of the G here, and then do 2 pull-offs. Go to the 9th fret of D, and then a quick 30-second pick on this 7th fret of the G string here, and then a longer one. So that first lick would be something like this. So, and feel free to use the wah where you want to there. So now that we've done that, there's going to be a half note rest. And we're going to go to here. We're going to do an octave bend. So 9th fret of the, or 10th fret of the G string and 8th fret of the B string. And you're going to bend the 10th fret up a full step. And feel free to play around with the wah and the vibrato. So that's going to be 1 quarter note there. We're going to go up half a fret, do it again for a quarter note. And then we're going to go up another half fret, do it for another quarter note. And then we're going to have 14, 12 really fast here, and then a bend up on this 15. We're going to hold that for a bit and then come down. And then after that, we're going to have some hammer-on licks here, which is 12, 15 on the B string. Like that. I usually tend to pick things. And we're going to go to the 14th fret here, and we're going to do the same thing. just like that. So there's going to be about 5 notes here. You can start on 15 if you want instead of the 12. Then this is going to be 4 notes here. We're going to pull off. Then go to the 14th fret of the D. So, and in between here, going to that, you should do a little bit of a wah move. And then you're going to go to the 12th like we saw there. And then this 14 again and bend it up. And then we're going to have a little bit of a move here where we go 12, hammer on, pull off, back to 14D, and then back to 12. And then slide out. So that whole section slow is going to be like this. Okay, so we're going to slide out there, and then we're going to slide from the 12th on the G. Then we're going to slide back in with our 3rd finger to the 9th fret, like that. Feel free to move the wah there if you would like. So when you do that, we're going to slide in, and then 7, 9 on the G. Bend it up. When you come down, you're going to pick it again, and then pick it a second time, and do walk down from 9, 7 to 9 on the D, and back to 7 at the end of that. And then you're going to have this quick one here where you walk down 9 to 7 on the D to 9 on the A. And you want to make sure the wah is completely down for that. That would be full speed, but slow it down. And then we got a triplet here of 7, 9 to 7 on the G. Bend up 9 on the G. And then 7, 9, 7, hammer on, pull off. Or pick it. Picking it is a little bit more reliable for this particular lick. I think he does pick it a little bit more. I think he does a hammer on and then picks the 7 again. This is the way to do that. That would be like this. Then we're going to have some more octave bends. We're going to move it up a string to the B and the high E string. So you're going to have 11 and 8 here. So 11 on the B and 8 on the high E. And you're going to bend that up a full step. Make sure the wah is down. Half step up again, another quarter note. Half step again. And then we're going to go straight to 15 on the high E. And we're going to bend that up all the way. And we're going to have pull off from 15 to 12. And then we're going to walk it down 15, 12, 14. Make sure you're moving the wah open for this. Then we're going to go back. Then we're going to have 2 slow ones and then 4 fast ones there between the 12 and 15. And they're going to go back to the 14 here and walk it down 14G, 12G, 14D, back to 12. First, let's review that one. So what we have here, we have the bends, and then we're going to have the rest of that lick here. Okay, then we're going to go to this 15th fret, bend it up, pick it 2 more times. And then we're going to move our second finger to the 14th fret of the high E, and we're going to pick that twice. There's actually a weird thing where there's like a harmonic here, that he hits on the 17. I don't know if it's by accident or if it's intentional. Not really sure. If you don't want to try to figure that out, of course, you can just let this 15 here, the last one that you play, drag out a little bit longer and then do this. And then we're going to have this fun walk down, which we're going to play 15 for a bit and then play it again and go to 12. And then 15, 14, 12. And then 14 of the G, back to 12 of the G of the B, and then 14, 12, 14 on the G, and then slide that 14 up while it's ringing to the 16th fret. So that lick would be like this here. So in full speed, that whole thing, what we did earlier with the longer lick, that would all be kind of one whole meaty thing, because that's kind of how it's played. But I'm breaking it down a little bit more just so you get it. All right, we slide it up to the 16 here. We're gonna go very fast 15, hammer on to 17, bend up. And then we're gonna have 15, 17, hammer on, 15, 16 of the G, and then we're going to pick that 15 fret 3 times after we come out of that. Back to 17 and vibrato it and kind of make it go a little bit sharp, because that's what Kim does in it, which might be accidental just because he's going hard with a vibrato. And then after we've done that, we're going to go to the 19th fret, pick it a couple quick times here and bend it up. And then 17 3 times to the 20, bend it up. On this first bend of the 20 here, you kind of want to play it and let it ring for a second and then bend it up. You don't want to bend it immediately. And then we're going to keep riding that, 17, 20. And then that last one is very long, and then we're going to go 17, 20, 17. And then it slides out after that. Real quick before we go to that next one, let's look at what we did again here. So here's that whole lick together. And then we're going to kind of open the wah here a little bit and slide into the 17 and then pick it about 4 times. Really quick like that. And then go to this 10 here. Let me slow that down a little bit. And then we're going to have that long quarter note there. And then we're going to have 5 in a weird count here. So it's 5 notes in span of what would normally be 3 half notes or something like that. I believe, yeah, that is how this would be written. So you have that, and then you're going to pick that 5 times. And then after that one, you're going to have a little bit of a slightly longer one at the end there on this 10th fret, and then you're going to go 8, 7, and then 9. So that whole thing is going to be like this after we've slid down from the 17, come back into the 7. But we are not done yet. After we hold that out for a while, it is so that is 3.5 quarter notes that we're going to hold that 9 out for. Then we're going to open up the wah and pick the 9 again for a quarter note, and then pick it for 2/16. And make sure you get back down on this 7 here. So you can do it a little bit early there if you want to get back to it. So we have that 7 there, and then we're going to have the 8th fret as 8th notes. And then we're going to have a lick of 16th notes here. I believe this 10th fret here is picked twice. Like that. So that section would be like this. And then you slide out after a very long note here. This is gonna last for how many beats? And it's actually gonna last for about, 7 or so, 7 or 6. And of course you wanna get that slide out at the end of it. So I'm gonna paraphrase that. I'm not gonna hold it out for that whole thing there because that's gonna be long. After we've done that, we're gonna go up here to the 16th fret of the G and the 15th fret of the B, and then we're gonna play that. We're gonna go 16th fret and then pick the 15 really quick and pick it again. You kind of want it to ring. And then after you've held that out for a while there, it goes all the way to the end of that measure, or if that bar. We're gonna do 15 here. And slide it out. After that 15th fret there on the E and slide out, that lasts for 2 quarter notes. We're gonna walk down on the B, we're gonna walk 15, 14, 12, and then 14 on the G. This one can be pretty hard because it's a long bend with a lot of vibrato at the top. So when you first pick it, that is a 16th note, and then it's gonna last for 1, 2 quarter notes, another half note, and then an 8th note, and then you're gonna have a half note rest followed by an 8th note rest, and then you're gonna do this end lick here, which is all 16th notes. And you're gonna have the wah basically almost all the way open. And then that's the end of that first solo. So can we put them all together for the slow version of that? Let's go ahead and try that out here. All right, and there's solo number 1. So playing that at full speed is a really tricky one, but there it is, nice and slow for you guys. All right, let's go to the next one. All right, getting into the second solo here, we have a wardrobe change. I had to record this on a different day because the first time through this second one, I made too many errors with it. And after I finished the tab, figured out what those were. And now we're back here doing this the right way. So let's get started here. Make sure my volume up here, and we're going to start with this fat bend on the 15th fret. Make sure the wah is down when you do this. And that's going to be for a quarter note there, and then we're going to have this walk down lick that starts by going to 12, 15, 12, 15, 12, so 5 notes there. And, you know, hammer on and pull off or pick where you need to. That all comes down to preference. Okay, after that, we're going to go to this B string here, 15, 12, and do 2 pull offs like that, or pick them, whichever you want to do. Since this is slow, I'm going to pick them. And then go to 14th fret G, 12th fret, and do the same thing. 14th fret D, and then back to 12 on the G. So all of those are 32nd notes, except that last one on the 12th fret is a 16th. And then after that, we come out of that, we're going to bend up here on this 14th fret. And then we're going to pick it again. And really quick, because the next lick is kind of tough before we get into it, let's review this one, this bar really quick here. Okay, so going into the next lick from where we left off, hitting that last 14th fret, we're going to put our pinky down on the 15th fret of the high E string, and we're going to alternate between those in the 16th note. And then there's 4 that are faster than that in 30 seconds, I believe, although on the recording it does sound like maybe Kim isn't following that specific of a pattern. He's just kind of playing that and then making sure he comes down out of the lick in time. It may not be quite what the tab says, but I wrote it that way just because it sounded the most accurate, but it is a tough lick to switch, to have to do that faster in the middle like that and then slow down. So let's just run through the whole thing here. Then it ends with that hammer on here from 12 to 14 G and then back to 12. Played at full speed, it would sound more like this, and this is why it's tough. So that's roughly it. That change up there is tough. That's why I'm saying that it may not actually be that way, but it's very easy to see why you might think it sounds like that from listening to the actual recording. Coming back from that hammer-on lick that it ends with there, we're going to have the 12th fret here. We're going to play it a couple of times. And then the third time we're going to play it after that, we're going to slide down to the 9 immediately after. Play that again to 7, play 7 again, back to 9. So that would be like this coming out of that hammer-on lick. So there's that. Let's review here this lick. So there is that lick completed there. Now what we're going to do next is we're going to open the wall a little bit, slide out of that 9th fret like that, and then we want to slide into 12th fret on the D and play this funky little lick here with some timing, which goes 12, 14 there to 12 on the G. So let's do that. So there's that there. You don't want to just slide and then go through the lick. You want to pick it on the 12 and then go through it. So after that, we're going to go 12, 15 on the B string here. And this B and this 15th fret, we're going to bend it up here and then let it go a little bit a few times. Bend it back up. So that would be like this. And then when you're coming down, you're gonna go crazy on the wah. And because of my disability, I can't go quite as fast with this with my foot because of my weak legs. But just keep in mind that you wanna go as crazy as you can on this wah when you come down out of this and go into our next lick, which is just a quick walk down from 15 to 12 to 14 on the G. So like this. And then after that 14th there, that goes 32, 32, 16th note. And then you're gonna bend this up and release it, go to 12. And you do that twice. Those are both 8th notes there. So let's review that section there. Sliding out of the 9 here. So there is that. After that 12th fret there, we're going to have another sliding lick here in 16th notes again, and it's going to go 16, 14, 12, 11, 12, 14. So that would be like this. And we hammer on here. You could also alternatively pick if you wanted to, but we hammer on for a reason because there's this quick 12th fret here after you hold this 14 out for a while. Yeah, that lasts for a quarter note plus a 16th and a 32nd, which is really weird. But there is that slight little 12th fret here on the D that you just barely hear at the end of this, which is why it's like that. So the next lick after that, we're going to hit this 12 really fast. It's the 32nd note. And then go into 5 bends on this 14th fret. And let's look at how that goes. So there's 5 bends there, 3 quarter note bends, 2 8th note bends there. So let's review that part again. Okay, so now that we've done that guy, we're gonna go over to this 15th fret of the B again. This is a guy that comes back a lot. Okay, I have to retcon something from the earlier lick with this 15th fret here. That first time that you go to this B on the 14th and then do this 15th fret on the B and then do that walk down. This is actually just a straight bend. There's no weird movement like I talked about. That actually happens on this next one that we're going to talk about that starts on the 15th fret. So like I said before, which shouldn't have been on that lick, we're going to bend this up and then let it go a few times and push it back up like this. Like that. And then we're going to have a weird lick here. After that, this timing is just 3 8th notes, holding that bend out. And then we're going to have, actually, nope, that's for the other one. Actually, this one is an 8th note, 2 16ths, and a quarter note. Then we're going to have this fun lick here where we're going from 15 to 12. And I'll show you kind of the timing here, and it's going to happen 3 times. So like that. And then we're going to jump down here to this 14th fret on the D. And that's going to last for a dotted 8th note plus a quarter note. And then we're going to have this fun lick which goes 11 on the G, back to 14, and then 11 again to 14 on the G string. So this is what that would be like after that 14. So let's look at that again here. And then we're going to bend this 14th fret up at the start of the next bar. And then we're going to have our pinky down, but we want it on both the B and high E string on the 15th fret. And this one's going to be a little bit easier. It's a lot slower because it alternates between 8th notes with 14 and then 16 on the other two. So it's going to be like this. And then ending on that 12th fret when you come out of it. So that's a pretty simple lick there. It's not too hard. Moving on, so that first 12th fret quarter note, you're going to play it again for another quarter note. So let's start from the first one. And then we're going to have another sliding lick, which is going to go to 9, 7. But this time after we get there, we're going to go all the way to the 2nd fret on the same string, and then have 2 extra picks, slide up to 4, 2 extra picks again. And so let's run through that part that I'm talking about here. So there's that, and remember you're not sliding from the 12 to the 9. That is on a quarter note by itself, and then you go to it and starts your sliding lick. So don't get that part confused. And then what we're going to do after that is we're going to have, after we hold that last 4th fret out for a while, it's going to be held out for that 16th note that you pick it on, and then held for a half note. So that's 2 quarter notes, remember. And then we're going to go to, wait, let me do math. Okay, correct what I said. It's actually going to be held for a quarter note after you play it 16th note there, because this bar starts with 4 16th notes, which is a beat, and then you would have, you know, that makes up a whole quarter note. So coming out of that, we're going to go to 9 for a quarter note, and then, or 7 for a quarter note, and then 9. And that's the end of that bar. And before we go any further, let's just run through that part again. And then next we're going to go to 10 here for a half note. And you want to have open walk, close down when you pick it. So open a little bit, then close it. And then we're going to go to the 8th fret for another half note. And then 7th fret for another half note. And then we're going to have this crazy lick here at the end of this that's going to start with a bend on the 9, which is a 16 plus a 32. So 9th fret of the G, by the way. So we bend that. And I guess in the middle lick you can move the wah how you want, though opens for just a little bit in the middle of this, but it's closed most of the time. And then after that we're going to go 7, 9, 7. To 9 on the D, back to 7, 9, 7 again, back to 9 on the D, and we're going to do 2 pull-offs to the 7. The muting can be really tough on a pull-off on this D string here, so be careful with that. Although the lick is pretty fast, so it may not actually matter if there's a little bit of noise, so do that. And we go to 9 fret on the A. And then back to 9 fret on the D. And if you want to make sure that stays muted in that roll down, you can just keep your index finger here to mute the A string from continuing to ring out. So you're going to go through that whole lick, and then that 9 is going to hit at the start of the next bar there, and you're going to hold out that 9 for an entire bar, so that's a whole note. So before we go any further, let's review again. So starting 10th fret here. After we hold that out for a whole note, we're going to go to 7 on the G for a half note, with the wah held partially open. And then to 4 for a whole note, so a whole bar. And then the 5th fret here at the very end with the wah closed. And after a half note there, you're going to start moving the wah a little bit here as it's ringing. Just like that. And it's going to start with an 8th note when you open it, and then it's in a pattern of 16th notes that you're closing it and opening it after that. And then there's like some wah flourishes at the very end of the bar where nothing's being picked and it's just the sound of the wah. And then that's basically it for the solo, but I will show you guys the weird ending that's at the end of this when you close out the song, which I do not count as part of the solo. The solo ends after those wah moves there as far as I'm concerned, but here is the ending here. We're going to bend this 2nd fret here and go kind of crazy on it. So like that there for a whole bar. And then we're going to have this fun lick here where we're going to go 4 from the G to 3 on the E string like this. Then slide up while that's ringing to 6. Same pattern. Slide to 7, and then you're going to stay on the same fret on the high E this time. Do it on 9 next. Slide up to 11. And then 10, 12 on the high E. And I don't have quite the volume, and I'm pretty close to the amp to sustain that note cleanly, so I can't quite get that right, but keep in mind that would last for the remainder of this bar, and then at the very end you're going to have a long slide out. Like that, which I have written as going over into the next bar, actually, which I'm not sure is entirely accurate. This is kind of hard to hear and kind of weird to tab, this ending part, but you get the idea. Anyway, guys, before we feed back to absolute oblivion, that's going to do it for the second Tighter and Tighter solo, which means that we are done with this video here and this walkthrough. So, of course, like and subscribe if you guys enjoyed the walkthrough of this fantastic Kim Thayil solo, or pair of solos, I should say. Leave a comment down below if you want. As always, don't forget to click the bell so you know when a new video is out. And I will see you guys next time in another video. Have a good one.